And hello, everyone. How's it going? Happy 8 p.m. It's Richard. And today's topic is so today I'm going to talk about feeling bad after an unproductive day and how do we kind of get back on track and keep moving forward. So, today's live is really about my own personal experience of my day, which is that I didn't feel like I had a very productive day. I don't know how to say this. Like, there's a lot of anxiety and I feel bad, or I did feel bad, and I'm still feeling a little bit anxious, which is paralyzing. Uh, when we get into this kind of this loop of, you know, I didn't meet my expectation. I didn't feel like I accomplished what I wanted to do today. It doesn't feel good. It becomes a little bit of a cycle. So, like, I think yesterday I kind of talked about. I think I talked about how 10 to 11 different things to do. Maybe I didn't. My to-do list was 10 to 11 different things, and woke up, I scheduled my whole entire day out, and I knew that I had one priority, which literally should have only taken me 5 minutes to do, which was make a not urgent, but I would say a somewhat important phone call, just to like get something like a water pipe fixed, something like that. So long story short is my day went by really quickly and it never happened. Things did not, as a result. So the conversation for me is, I guess the topic I want to talk about is feel when we get into these modes of feeling bad about ourselves, how do we get out of it? Because it can be very detrimental. It could be very debilitating. It could be very like paralysis happens. Like I started feeling overwhelmed. I think a lot of us, a lot of you, a lot of us kind of go through the same challenge, which is, let's say I have 10 things to do today. It has this expectation. Okay, if I have 10 things to do today and I didn't accomplish them, guess what? It's just gonna be added to tomorrow's to-do list. And there's this constant anxiety and pressure of all this work that we have to do, and because we don't want to push it off to like 2 days. Like we got to get it done tomorrow, right? And what's happening is we start overwhelming ourselves with so much work. It's like, what do we do now? So I've figured out, but I'm still working through the process. So that's kind of the conversation that we'll continue talking about throughout this live. Feel free to add your own questions, comments, things like that. Richard De La Fuente says hello, hello to you too. Adiello, hello to you too as well. I understand I got snowed in today, so it was slower on progress for me too. How do I join one of the Facebook Messenger groups for the challenge? Remind me, are you already in it? In the if you are in the challenge, then if you're in the challenge, if you sign up for the January challenge already, then or if you got my emails, you should have been contacts. I could put you into a group. Otherwise, if you have not signed up for the group yet, then anyone who signs up now is going to have to wait until February because it's a lot to manage. 30 people signed up, and we got these people who want to trickle in one at a time, and it's really hard to include everyone in. So, okay, so you're in the group right now. Ideally, send me your contact information either via email. If you're not in a group already, that's weird. So yeah, send me your contact information either via email, messenger, and I'll add you to a group. Assigned everyone groups already, so that's very strange that you're not in a messenger group already. Here. Alrighty, other comments. I feel Fling H says I'm feeling the exact same. I have exams to study, but I just don't. And then says I didn't go according to my schedule, and I feel a bit depressed because I feel like I am way behind time and have things stacking up. All right, so this is that people can relate to this conversation. So All right. First of all, for anyone who's hopping on, let's say anyone who's on Facebook, if anyone's wondering why you don't see the comments that I'm reading, it's because we're streaming on YouTube and Facebook at the same time for all the interaction and comments and stuff. So read all the comments out loud so people kind of know what's going on. All right. And then Mariah says, hello, Richard. I completely relate to what you are talking about right now. I could get 9 things done and feel crummy because I didn't do the 10th. Oh, goodness. So, go on. All right. So, I think today's conversation is very relatable in the sense that I feel anxiety that I did not get a lot done today. Honestly, like today was probably one of the most unproductive days task wise for me. Like one of the most, definitely the most unproductive day of this whole entire year, task wise. Like I didn't get anything done really besides going to the gym and eating lunch and dinner and learning branding stuff. You know, like what was on my to-do list was a bunch of other chores and things like that, which none of it happened to get done. So yeah, like let's talk about this. I'm a very checklist kind of person, sort of. Historically, like every single day I try to write a checklist so I know what I need to do to get done. I feel disappointed if I didn't complete my checklist. Just like was that Mariah? Like you finish 9, but if you don't finish that 10th one, you feel crummy because you didn't get it done. So that I've been practicing a lot more of recently, which is say this. It's like patience. It's not just patience. It's like letting go. Trying to practice is letting go of unhealthy anxiety that we have when we don't accomplish our goals. Like instead of focusing our energy on feeling disappointed in ourselves, I do believe that strategy is to stop focusing on beating ourselves up, stop focusing on we are because we didn't accomplish our tasks, on I get to do in this moment right now to recenter myself, to start building up that momentum again. And I think what's really important is not what we think we should be doing, but rather what's actually going to work for us. So what's going to work for Mariah, Adiola, what's going to work for Anathox, what's going to work for, or, like anyone else who's on right now. K Young Me Elliott. What is going to work for each one of us? Or Leon. Like I think this is where it's important to kind of pause and get present. Like I was stressing out like maybe about an hour ago because I was like so behind right now. I have so much stuff, so many different things to do. Back on track. And I feel like the only person that could answer the question of how do you get back on track is yourself. It's you could ask people to kind of give feedback, but you have to figure out what works for you. So for me, I'm going to use my lab rats. So I got 11 different to-do list items on my to-do list for today, and it's overwhelming. So I think what's going to help me is being flexible. After this live stream, I'm going to tackle that that I feel like that are doable tonight. 2 or 3 things off my to-do list. That way I'm less worried about those things. I think what's going to help is my anxiety. I need to stop stressing so much about trying to fit everything and get everything done by tomorrow. I think for me, I just need to tackle things one at a time. So right now, my strategy is literally like at this point, because my brain is I'm still a little bit from having so much work that I still need to do. Tonight, I'm just going to pick a few and just get it done. And then tomorrow when I wake up in the morning, I know 2 or 3 of my task items are related with phone calls as recommended to me. Do those phone calls, like whatever items, do those phone calls first thing in the morning when, in the appropriate hours of making phone calls. So whatever it is, probably 9 a.m. So I'll schedule those. That's a total of 5 things down, which means I have another 6 items to go. 6 items from today, plus all the items for tomorrow. And I think in this case, like me, it's important to not focus on feeling overwhelmed, because once I start focusing on feeling overwhelmed and feeling that anxiety, my brain kind of shuts down. It gets overwhelmed, and it has analysis paralysis. I just get stuck. So it kind of goes down to you, feeling stressed out and kind of down on yourself. What's a good strategy for you to keep going to complete all your tasks? So that's something that you got to ask yourself and answer yourself for yourself. Yes. Okay. Here. Let's see. Let's see some comments here. Ontex says, is it better to have a top 5 important daily tasks, or else you'll get overwhelmed? So this is something I'm still trying to figure out. As I mentioned, probably in the past 2 days, for me, what's working really well is having the one biggest task each day. So I'll create a to-do list just to keep track of everything I need to do, but I'm going to focus on the one big task, meaning give me the most bang for my buck. Like, what's the most important thing that if I accomplish this would actually my life. So how do I say this? I think it's important to not overcomplicate things. For us, I still overcomplicate things for myself all the time. So this is something that I got to be very wary of. So I'm still trying to balance what is the best strategy. By the way, if anyone is like a productivity hacker here, like let us feed us information here. I would love to hear how do you whatever it is, prioritize and get everything done that you have to get done, and how do you not get discouraged, all that stuff. There's a million different perspectives here. There's to look at it, and I don't feel like there's a right or wrong. It's just some things don't work for others, all of that. Let's see. Richard De La Fuente says, I just do what I can. I don't have a list. I mean, look, if that works for you, great. If that works for you, great. I feel like we all have different schedules, priorities in our lives, so it might not work for you. A different kind of lifestyle. Maybe if you're a student, different. Maybe what I'm telling you may not relate completely, but conversation is how can pieces of it. All right. If I have to get things done sometimes, I'll just sleep a lot later. That's definitely a possibility that to do. Yeah, but then I don't know how to say this. Like, for me, life, like, if I need to get things done, sure, I'll sleep later. But the problem is me sleeping later is that's not setting me up to win for tomorrow. Because tomorrow, sorry, if I want to sleep late, I'm gonna either A, wake up late, which is not setting me up to win, or B, wake up on time or early, well rested enough. So I feel like it's a balance. And a few days ago, I was kind of preaching about getting enough rest. Like, I feel like it's really important for me to get enough rest. So the next morning I'm ready to go. I'm awake and I'm focused. So that's theory, I guess, that I'm sticking to right now is that sleep is really important. Get to continue sleeping as much as I like, going to sleep on time and then waking up on time. So that's what I'm working on. All right, Lismus. See you to see you on. Hey Richard, yikes! I'm feeling the same, but decided I shall not beat myself up, but make tomorrow a better day. Yes, love how quite a few people here are all on the same page with regards, uh, in regards to having an unproductive day. But simply be okay with it not being productive today. Okay, after a good night's sleep. Lismus. um, I mean, you're so wise in that way. Have that positive mindset, and so we're still learning how do we develop a good mindset, a positive mindset, or guide us towards the right direction. I think a lot of us, we tend to beat ourselves up. We have a lot of negative energy, and we're trying to learn how to overcome this. So, and that's a practice too. And sometimes we don't feel like we have the we don't feel like we have the right to, you know, we don't deserve the ability to go to sleep peacefully and wake up the next day and be a good day. Like, we don't feel like we deserve it because we didn't accomplish our goals. And I think very, very unhealthy. So Lismus, I totally agree with you. And adapting, it's almost like self-forgiveness. It's like to stop focusing on the negativities, to stop focusing on beating ourselves up, to stop focusing on, and I didn't accomplish my goals today. Like, I think unsuccessful with our lives keep complaining about how much we didn't accomplish today. If we want to be successful with our lives, don't worry about the past. Don't worry about how unproductive today was. And what do I get to do moving forward? How can I make tomorrow better? Okay, get a good night's sleep. Let's start again, just like Lismus is saying. I think that's very, very, that's in alignment with my beliefs too. Get your comments. I'm just kind of reading them in my own organized fashion. Lismus says, speaking from my own experience, if I'm not getting things done, then just stopping and taking a break to refresh, even if it's getting fresh air or going for a walk, really helps me. I agree. Like, I love much. They're very, very mature. They're very well developed, in my opinion. I agree with that. Let's see here. I'm going to highlight a little bit more of what list minus V. I call her Listmas. Thing is that really, like, this is about being self-aware. Let's say you're working, you're working, and you have so much work to do. You notice yourself, like, you notice your productivity kind of dies down and you stop being as productive. That, to me, that now it's time to take a break. Now it's time to go for a walk. Now it's time to, whatever, eat a snack, or it's like switch things up. I don't know if I mentioned this on the live, but 2 days ago I was just logo design, and I spent 4 or 5 hours on it. Like, I was just really focused. I'm like, dude, I got to get this done. I want to get this done. I want it to be whatever perfect. And I kept working and working. And after 4 or 5 hours of working on my logo, I was just like, for feedback from people, and they're like, "Ooh, I don't know about this, Richard. This looks a lot like this," or like, it's a little. I'm like, "Oh, come on, are you serious? Like, I spent so much work trying to design this logo. Oh, now it's like I'm being told that I still have to work on it." So then at that point, I'm like, okay, exhausted. Like, I'm mentally exhausted. My creativity juices are gone. Like, I'm done. Like, I'm done for now. So in that moment, I had to be self-aware. And even though I wanted to get it done, mentally I was in the right space, and that's when I said, okay, it's p.m. I should probably go eat now. So I went outside, go grab some lunch. I was nicely refreshed. My logo and think, oh wow, I could actually see um, how the logo can be improved. Power of self awareness. That's the power of giving ourselves breaks when our body tells us that we need them. Mm. All right. At this point, I'm going to go comments back in order again. Okay. Adiola says, I've been researching productivity apps like Google Calendar to set reminders and have for the day. Yes, I currently use Google Calendars, and I use the task feature hidden on the Google Calendar. I just recently got introduced to a website called todoist.com. Or it's an app as well, Todoist. It's like to do list without the L, ist.com. That's a task list app, and I've been playing. I just played around with it right before this. It seems like a pretty cool app, and I'm actually going to give it a try and see if they be more organized than using Google Calendars. So we'll see how it goes. There's more functionality to, and you can prioritize it. You can categorize it, all your to-do lists. So you can give it a shot. I don't have a formal review for it yet because I haven't fully committed to using it. But I do recommend Google Calendars if you're not using it and you're looking for productivity. Google Calendars is great. That's function, which is like, it's kind of hidden. It's either choose event or task. Or task is kind of like a to-do item, and you could check it off, and you could schedule it each day or whatever. Another productivity tool that I like using is it's kind of like Evernote, but I would say more simple and easier to use. It's like a imagine like a bulletin board with a bunch of post-it notes on it. It's like a digital post-it note wall. You could do checklists, or you could just do solid text. And I don't know, I love using Google Keep to jot down notes and like information that I need. And it's very easy to like file them away and like close them, like archive them. So Google Keep is a great thing to use. Like, let's say you're on a phone call or something, and someone says, "Hey, hey, can you get this phone number or whatever?" Like, instead of busting out your phone, or I don't know, it's really easy to use, and I use it all the time to organize thoughts. But they're just some tools. Oh goodness, we got a lot of people on Facebook. I mean, over the course of these past 23 minutes. This person just joined. Okay, so Fling says, yeah, sleeping late for me is kind of like a punishment for not organizing my time well. Well, I don't know. Is that really a punishment, or is that punishment serving you well, or is that hurting you? In my opinion, sure, you could say sleeping late is organizing time well, but it's also not something that I would say is supporting me. So, yeah, that's my opinion there. Like, I would work on respecting your body, respecting the fact that your body probably needs some sleep. Although I'm speaking to the human population in general, there are some people who can still function off of very little sleep. I don't know if that's you, but yeah, I only know a few people who are like that. Johnny Leg says, I've heard that stress is often misused nowadays. It doesn't have the same functionality that it did for us a long time ago. Interesting. Yeah, I feel like that's a true statement there. That's probably true. Yeah, I think our modern day society, it's like we've engineered a different lifestyle where it's different now. Like, that stuff doesn't really exist. Okay, let's see. Lismus says, not deserving the sleep because we have not had a good day is so deep, and I can totally relate. But how about we think of the body like a bike, such that if sleep equals pumping the tire and changing the oil equals eating well, then without those things, the bike simply will not function. True. It says, "Oh, I heard of that one too. I'm debating whether to use it because the Google Calendar has task function. Let us know how you like it." Alrighty. I'll. Lisma says, similar, we have to somehow appreciate that things may not go according to plan, but somehow we ought to try and accept deep down that this is okay. By the way, I'm just letting you know, anyone who's on Facebook, don't feel left out. I feel like genuinely quiet while YouTube is aging here. I encourage you, if you're on Facebook, come like that and be answered. I'm here. I'm watching all the comments. That's a great analogy, Lismus. That would be a very helpful way to view things. Lismus says, although I know how do we do this? Wait. Although I know you will ask this, Eek, I shall think and share upon the next live stream I join. Then it's time I sleep. We'll listen another 10 minutes, then doze off. Alrighty. Thank you. Thanks for hopping on. Very late, huh? Alrighty. So, what now? This is a great conversation. We're talking a little bit about productivity. We're talking about how do we, when we're having a bad day, when we feel, whether it's we feel unproductive or, like today wasn't a great day, we didn't make the most of it, I didn't feel like I accomplished much, or just in general, if we have a bad day, how do we bounce back from that? And I think really the recurring thought or theme of today is focusing on that negativity. And it's not always easy. Sometimes that negativity will throughout the day, and maybe it's possible that it might want to follow us into the next day. Whereas a conscious human being, we get to make a decision and say, hey, look, whatever has happened up until now, that's the past. The past is the past. I didn't have a good day today, but also a good benchmark. Tomorrow is a new day. Let's make tomorrow great. Let's reset. Let's start over again. And who are I don't want to say skeptics, but like for my friends out there who kind of have that resistance or that belief, like, oh man, hey, like I feel like crap right now. That I get you. You're not the only one. Us two are not the only ones. So many of us have that feeling of, like, I don't feel like tomorrow would be a good day either. I want to invite you to just, I don't know how to say this, like, just imagine if tomorrow was a good day. Imagine, like, give yourself permission to allow your tomorrow to be a good day, and just let it be, like, let it flow. And what I've found is, challenged me before when I had a bad day, like, just forget about today, focus on tomorrow, enjoy, like, just reset, don't worry about it, get some rest, whatever it is, accomplish what you got to accomplish, and, like, don't stress out so much. Let tomorrow be a new day. And for me, that little thought is, although I still have that a little bit of that energy, like, man, but I didn't finish my work today and I don't feel good about it. That's the past. Let it go. Focus forward. That's all. So that's kind of the big thought for me today. It's right after this live stream. I'm not perfect. I'm gonna do my best. Look at my huge list of 11 different to-do items for today that have not been accomplished, and try to knock out maybe 2 of them, maybe 3. I can done. Don't overstress. That's all. So that's kind of my words of wisdom for today is, if you failed today, it's okay. Let it go. Move forward. All right. I see a lot of good stream of comments going on here. So let's do this. Okay, Lisma says, similarly, we have to somehow appreciate that at times things may not go according to plan, but somehow we ought to try and accept deep down that it's okay. Yep. I already read these comments. Uh-huh. Okay, sorry. Okay. Yep. All right. Lisma says, last message, but Richard loved the circle neck t-shirt as opposed to the V-neck, plus love that white with a slash of blue. It's awesome. So it's not just a slash of blue, it's their mountains. Ooh. But thank you, appreciate that. So, no more V-necks. Is that what you're saying? Oh, I'll wear a combination of both. I'll do whatever I feel like because it's my life. I'm partially kidding, but it's also partially true. All right, Fling says, but what if you end up in this cycle where you keep promising to do better tomorrow? I think stress can be a good motivator at times, especially if some of the tasks are more urgent. Let's see. Yeah, I think stress is a good short-term motivator. I feel like there's good stress and bad stress. I'm kind of BSing a little bit, but I'm gonna do my best here. I feel like oftentimes we often tap into negative stress as opposed to positive stress. I think negative stress is more along the lines of beating ourselves up, feeling like we didn't accomplish as much as we should have. And good stress is more, holy goodness, we got a lot of work to do. Let's get this done. That's my kind of gut feeling on what those two things are. So Fling, let's talk about goal where we keep promising that we're going to do better tomorrow. Already, what I'm hearing you say is you promise yourself and you disappoint yourself because you don't meet your promise. This is where there's a few thoughts here. Number one is forgive yourself. You're a human being. You're imperfect. It's okay. Like we are human. We are imperfect, so it's okay. It's okay to fail. It's okay to promise and break a promise. I'm not saying you should keep breaking promises. By it's okay to break a promise is okay. Look, you made a mistake. Perfectly okay. The question is, how do you improve moving forward? Where instead of looking at our past and like, better tomorrow, this is where we gotta look at our past and like, okay, this is my habits, only inconsistent. I would almost challenge. This is tricky. My challenge to you, Fling, and anyone else who's dealing with the struggle, instead of promising, bro, I feel like there's two options. Option number one is you really understand what the heck you're promising. My encouragement would be to start smaller, to do better tomorrow. Does that mean spend 5 minutes working compared to yesterday? That might be fulfilling your promise of doing better tomorrow. Like I don't know what it is. So I think, or my ask of anyone here is, if you're going to make a promise, to what you're making a promise to. So again, living life in alignment with who you are, speaking with integrity, and it's for the sake of making a promise, will actually keep with like, I don't know if I'm actually going to keep that promise. I'm going to go back to two choices. Number one is you don't make the promise at all. The way to do it, like, you know what, I will try. Or option number two, which is the responsible, more scary thing, is make the promise and do it. Like, make the promise and do it for the sake of going to do. So you can build up that self-integrity, self-trust. You do it anyway, even if you don't feel like doing it. So that is a challenge, but it's something that you got to work through. It's something as human beings, we all get to work through, is every single day. So Story short, don't beat yourself up and keep moving forward. Johnny Lex says, worrying does nothing except show that you care. Not do anything except for show that you care. I think I get the context. I'm not gonna talk too much about it. Just something like, well, worrying unhealthy. It shows that you care, and it can be unhealthy. It can add kind of anxiety. Like there's healthier ways to handle it. That's all I'll say for now. Adila says, "Oh, your shirt is so refreshing." Thank you. Yeah, I found the shirt. I'm like, ooh, like I don't really like a lot of printed shirts. You know, I like to keep it very simple, but this one was nature-ish. So, yeah. Alrighty, let's see. Oh, a lot of comments on the shirts. Well, awesome t-shirt, not particularly true. If true, it's fully true, and in your life, blah 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 blah. Respectfully. Let's see. Sandra says, one thing I always say to myself when I don't get things done is half is better than zero. Nice. Liz Smith, thanks for hopping on. See you later. Let's see. Sandra's going back to that. Half is better than zero. It is. Half is better. Half is better than zero. That is very true. Thank you everyone for the, kind of like the words, the thoughts. It's great to hear how people are handling things. It's great to hear people who are struggling and going through it. I think a lot of it is just figuring it out. So did a pretty good job with tackling today's topic of feeling bad after an unproductive day. How do we get back up again? So that's today's topic. So I'm going to wrap up with this thought of kind of this whole conversation about how do we get ourselves back up from after an unproductive day. So what stops us? I feel like a lot of times what stops us from getting back up is this feeling of anxiety, this feeling of overwhelm. It's a feeling of feeling like a failure, like we failed, and we feel disappointed in ourselves. And our mind kind of sits in this spiral of negativity. So I believe how we get back up again is to let go of that thought, to let go of the all the negative thoughts like, oh man, I failed today, it sucked. Forget about the past. Let's focus forward. That's what I have for today. Okay. I've shorter than usual, 38 minutes, as opposed to over an hour. I don't want to and just repeat the same thing over and over again. So with that being said, I do want to say thank you for hopping on, and my plan of action again, one last thing I'll say, my plan of action regarding my own anxiety and feeling bad for having an unproductive day is number one, energy on the past. The past is the past. It's done for me. Next step for me, as soon as I hop off this live, to knock out a few more task items and just keep moving forward. Sleep on time. Put so much pressure on myself that I screwed up or whatever. Just knock as much out as I can for tomorrow. Focus on what's the biggest one thing I can accomplish tomorrow, and then put a checklist for the rest. And another little productivity hack that I was told, and this might seem common sense, but maybe it's a good reminder because it was for me, is when you schedule out your day, focus on one task at a time and resist the urge to get distracted by something else. For example, today I looking at branding websites because I was supposed to focus on today was the day of house chores, like just knocking out all the things, fixing broken things, and nothing got fixed. I got distracted. So prioritize and just do one thing at a time. Priority number 1, done. Priority number 2, done. Priority number 3, done. 4, done. 5, done. 6, done. Like just one thing at a time. Don't try to do a bunch of things. And another thing is almost like don't overthink it. Just do it. Don't overthink it. Just do it. And if you start saying like, oh, I really want to do this, but I want to do this. Like, just choose one and just do it. Okay. All right. With that being said, I will read the comments and call it a night. So Flink says, thanks for Richard for the advice. Appreciate it. You're welcome. And hey, thank you everyone. Thank you everyone for, because your comments and thoughts answered each other's stuff. So I'm just here as a little bit like a facilitator. Okay. Thanks for doing that. Tomorrow's a new day. Yep, tomorrow's a new day. Let's do it. Eat that frog. Yeah. You're welcome. We're doing a live stream. See John Lake. Also, do you practice graphic design? Let's see. Yeah. So ending on a random Q&A questions, which is perfect. So do I practice graphic design? How do I say this? I played around with, so here's what I'll say. That you see on my website or my YouTube channel, like everything, my logos, everything is so yes, I play around with graphic design a little bit in any sense. And I have a little, I dabble in it. I've been creating logos for many years, but nothing impressive that I would to, because it also takes me a really long time to design and be a perfectionist on everything. I've been playing with Photoshop for 13 years, but I'm not very good. Or hold on, let me rephrase that. I'm a novice at it. Okay. Goodness, I feel good. Last thing I want to say is y'all make me feel good. As in, like, conversation with all of you today was really one of the biggest highlights of my day today. So I appreciate you giving me this opportunity to connect with you and to talk and just give me this platform to speak. So thank you for connecting and thank you for kind of making my day. How do I say this? For resetting my mind, getting my mind off of the negative, that negative bad feeling, and allowing me to kind of talk it out a little bit so I could now move forward. Okay. Thank you again. Have a good night, everyone. Bye. See you on tomorrow, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, same time as always. Tomorrow. And how's my day yesterday? Is a stream you seemed a bit off. It's got I can't remember how it was yesterday. Oh, I remember yesterday I was overwhelmed. I had so much work to do. I'm getting over a little bit of a cold, but overall I'm pretty good. I'm very grateful and very happy. Even if I'm, how do I say this? Even if I feel a little bit low, it's a high kind of low. Like life in general, there's too much to be grateful for. So if I have a low, it's a temporary low, and I push myself to get back up and keep the positive. Have a good night. Bye.